Yo, what's up? This is Gemini, and you're watching my podcast. Yo, what's up, you guys? We're back with another podcast. I am with my uncle right here, Lingo J, aka Jesse Rodriguez. Another Rodriguez like me, because you already know we're perfect. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, Unc, we're just gonna get right down to it. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, well, just said my name. My name's Jesse Rodriguez. This is my nephew, Kevin. I'm a father of two, a husband. Love my life as far as that's concerned, and just, maintaining in this crazy world. Things have changed a lot, so
yes, sir.
It's more of trying to adapt to this new crazy climate and
generation and shit.
Bizarre world we live in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about the music game right now?
I love making music, so I think the thing about music in general, I guess for me, is I'm constantly digging and going backwards in time. So, I'm not confined or
you're not gatekeeping.
I'm not trapped in a specific, because that's not the way I live. So like when it comes to the art, when it comes to music, I've got so many different ways to hear what I need to hear. Because I mean, if you were going off of just what's out there today, what gets, I'm not
kind of assume.
It's just not doing it for me. And I don't mean that hip hop in general or anything like that, just music that I hear nowadays is just it's not the same to me. But I mean, again, if you know about the way that it's recorded and things like that, it's more sonically, it's just not as appealing to me now, right?
Yeah.
And, people that make music and things like that, that technology has really changed a lot, so it changes the way also that it sounds when it's produced. So, I try to keep it as natural sounding to the way that I remember and how I liked it. You know what I'm saying? So,
no, I can respect.
But yeah, like music in general, just for me, I love oldies and I love going back and I love punk rock music and just all this stuff that wouldn't be, I guess, socially acceptable or acceptable on radios and things like that.
Well, because everybody's too scared to get canceled.
Man, it's like I said, what I was referring to when I said this crazy climate that we live in now. But I don't let that influence me. There's only one that influences me, and he's the only one that can judge. So, other than that, I try to live and let live, and it's taken a long time to learn how to do that, but I'm trying.
No, I know. Shit. Let me listen. So to anybody that didn't watch the last podcast, I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is the guy that got me into hip hop. One of my inspirations. So I want to know. I know you guys maybe or may not want to know how Gemini got his rap skills. Give me your top 5 right now.
My top 5.
Top 5.
Are we talking hip hop music?
Hip hop, regardless. It's not even lyricism or whatever.
Okay, so I'm at a point now where, and again, I don't want to be, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole or confuse people, but for me, it's not really about, so for me, there's so many greats, right? There's so many,
absolutely.
It's too hard to just say, okay, this is my top 5. So what I would do is I would categorize my top 5, right? So if you said, who is your top 5?
Boom bap,
say we said, and not just boom bap, because pretty much all 90s, hip hop and rap music was boom bap.
Yeah.
That was the style of and it had to do more about the beats per minute on those songs, right? They had different beats per minute. So for me, if you were to say, okay, just straight
Just
spitters of all time.
No, just the area. All artists.
My number one, and God bless the dead, God rest his soul, MF Doom. To me, just the most creative, lyrical dude to ever do it. It's like hearing, a rapper that was more like, I don't know if you ever delved into a comic book, but back in the day we had these little magazines that were called comic books, right? And you could get Marvel comics, you get all that stuff, and like you would look in there and the artwork was just crazy, and it had the boom pow, just all this cool little action stuff.
Onomatopoeia.
Yeah, and it might be Batman, it might be Spider-Man, it might be Wolverine, whatever, but just there were comic books and things like that. So the way that man raps, to me, it was so obscure. And even when I first, like he had stuff even before becoming MF Doom. He was in a group called KMD with his brother, who ended up passing away, got hit by a car, and then he kind of went into obscurity for a few years. And when he came back out, he emerged as MF Doom, which is Metal Face Doom, right? Yeah. The villain, right? The mad villain. So
mad villain.
But it wasn't like there's no like negative, like, oh, I'm, thugging and killing people and shit like that, right?
It was just,
we love that shit too, but
yeah, we do.
For the most part, it was so creative and different, and he was sampling stuff that was so obscure, like JJ Fad and Sade and all this music that I already loved listening to, right? Yeah. So it was like, damn, and then even now I'll be going through some records or something, I'm like, oh shit, he sampled that, So creatively, linguistically, just thinking on another level and so obscurely, I give it the number one spot to Doom all day.
Okay.
For a long time when I was younger, it was Nas.
And you're saying that's number one.
MF Doom is my number one all-time spitter. All time. And just all time, if we're talking hip-hop music, overall favorite artist of all time. I can listen to any one of those albums.
You're putting Doom over L?
I'm putting Doom over everybody. Everybody. You gotta remember, man, L, because he's not in my top.
Yeah, I know.
But you gotta remember, and also with Pun, because Pun's not in my top either. Not that they weren't worthy of it. Them brothers didn't get to live long enough. They both, I think L died when he was like,
he was my age.
He was like 24, 23. He was young.
Yeah, he was.
Pun was 25. Pac and Biggie 25.
Pun was.
Pun could have. I mean, if we're just talking about just the
straight lyricism,
the straight talented, Pun and L, talent-wise, were ahead of everybody.
What's your favorite L song?
Oh man, probably The Poor and Dangerous. Or Put It On. I love Put It On. I love Put It On. Kid Capri made that beat.
I love how, even though Pac wasn't really rocking with New York, he did his thing with Pun. I mean, with L. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yep. He had that joint with yeah. Yep. And the DJ Ron. That was from a mixtape, believe it or not, DJ Ron, and he was able to get that Pac verse. But that's how special L was, right?
L was a goat, man.
L was special, but I'm telling you, man, that dude, like, and God bless the dead with him, because when Doom passed away, he was like 49, I believe. L was like 23. He was such a young dude. And the way they killed him.
He got shot right on his...
Yeah, the way they killed him was just, it was terrible. It wasn't even about him. It was just to, so they could send a message to his brother, from what I hear. Yeah. So,
I ain't hear that.
God bless. I love L. Don't get
I know.
But, so I got Doom at number one. My number two would have to be Rakim. Rakim was my number one for a very long time. It was always between Rakim and Nas.
But you put Doom in the front.
Doom is in the front. You got to remember, I'm 42 now.
Yeah.
Right. So I've had many years, and as I went back, especially like during COVID and stuff like that, I went back and I listened to his catalog, man. It was like, he's the only person that I can continuously go back to, and I don't get tired of hearing the music, man. If I'm in the gym or whatever, and it's like, and it's so many different. There was no like falsifying, like being a thug or being hard. No,
it was just straight lyricism.
But it was still hard shit. You know, it's like the message of the person sending the message, man. It's not about what it looks like. It's about what it sounds like. So, but anyway, I'd have Rakim at number 2. He may be the greatest lyricist of all time, and I mean, you would not be wrong to put him at your number 1 spot. This is my list. So, Uncle says Doom at 1, Rakim at 2. Probably have Big Daddy Kane at number 3.
Kane.
That was probably
also somebody who worked with L.
Yes. And actually, actually before Kane, I gotta put Slick Rick. When I was a little kid,
that's my mom's favorite.
When I was a little kid, that was probably between Slick Rick and Heavy D, the 2 rappers that I wanted to be like them. You know, it was like And but Slick Rick, man, to this day, it's just like you see him. There's a charisma. And
there's an aura.
There's an aura to him, but probably the best hip hop voice of all time. If we're just talking voice tone and just smoothness, man. I mean,
I remember when I moved back, when we came back from North Carolina.
Yep.
I remember when you wanted to listen to some of the music on my iPod, and you put my earphones in, and this is when fucking auxiliary cords were still a thing.
Yep.
You listened, and the first thing that popped up was Slick Rick's bedtime story.
Yep.
And you were like, how the fuck do you know anything about this, man?
Uncle Ricky, I love that.
Can you please?
That's my shit. And even not just everybody knows that one, right? But like the Hey Young World,
like
I love, to this day, I hear that song and I can't help it. I start dancing. So so I'd have Slick Rick at number 3 just because the impact he had on me, not only from childhood, right? Like 7, 8 years old, and I'm 42, and I'll go back and I hear that shit and I lose it, man. I get, you know. So I'd probably have Slick Rick at number 3, because what he meant. Kane at number 4, and Cool G Rap at number 5. Yeah.
Let me think of mine, cause you already know my number 1, like
Eminem.
Oh, for sure. No, without a question. Without a question. I'm not even gonna argue about it.
I think Eminem. Don't get me wrong. I think Eminem's dope. Not the kind of music that I like to listen to.
I understand that. I understand that.
Is he incredibly gifted vocally, verbally? Nobody wants to battle that dude.
Yeah.
You know? But it's just not the kind of music I like.
No,
like if I'm riding in my car, that's how you get the dope test. Like if I'm listening to that, you know, that music in my car, I fuck with it. But I've just never been able to listen to that.
He's my favorite. If I gotta go number 2, I'm gonna go L. Easily.
What's your favorite song?
By L?
What's your favorite L song?
Platinum Plus.
Platinum Plus?
Platinum Plus. Platinum Plus without a question. You know what I'm talking about?
That beat is so dope. Oh yeah.
Oh man. And he had Big Daddy Kane on that on top of it.
Now it's whack to us. Yeah. I love
and
that.
then I did a thing on that, but we're not even gonna get into that. So Eminem, Big L, number 3.
Oh, and Kevin, I saw my brother's, he was your first podcast interview.
Yeah.
Kevin, I saw you left DMX out. So I just wanted to point that out.
Oh, shit.
I saw you. I saw it. I peeped it and through the camera, I'm like, Kevin, you left out DMX. DMX would be Kevin. I could not believe that you put Tupac in there and DMX was. Your dad listened to way more.
DMX.
I listened to more Tupac than your dad did. Your dad
was a DMX.
He left
cat.
DMX and 50 out of there.
He left DMX. I think he
He left DMX and 50 Cent out of his. I remember that specifically, brother.
Man.
So you're wrong for that one, but.
All right, what did I say? So Eminem, Big L. Fuck, I'm struggling with Nas and AZ.
Yeah,
I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Can I put them both in the same conclusion?
No, but see, remember when I said that? That's why you gotta have like categories, right? Because like if you say like, to me the dopest feature on a song all time.
All right,
is when Nas put when he on Illmatic album when he featured AZ in that song. Life's a Bitch.
And then you die.
Bro, that's I mean right out the gate that
All
takes courage
Nas,
to put
Nas. I'm not even gonna put AZ in the last.
Oh, and I got one for you once we wrap up our top 5.
Nah, go ahead. Just tell me.
No. To figure out I want to hear it.
Fuck.
I want to hear the fourth. Who's the fourth MC?
Immortal Technique. Actually, I'm putting that over this. They're switching.
Who?
Fucking Nas.
Nas and Immortal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm putting Immortal Tech over Nas.
What's your favorite Immortal Technique song?
Peruvian. Actually, no, not even that.
I think mine is the first shit I heard, Dance with the
Dance with the Devil. That's his best song.
Oh man.
Yeah, no.
That song is just so you gotta be like you can't be in like you can't listen to that if you're in a happy mood though. Like that song will mess up your whole day.
My dad, I asked my dad.
You can't don't ever play that for your dad.
He's heard it. I asked him, I said, who do you think are my top 3 rappers? And he said that he thought my favorite rapper was Immortal Technique. So I might have to even move Immortal Technique up to number 3. Eminem is always going to be my first. And then, now let me figure out my last.
Is it Joey?
No, fuck no. I love Joey, but no, he's not on the level.
No, I can appreciate that because he's so young. I mean,
yeah,
he's probably not even 30.
Oh, dude, have you seen how big he is now? He's huge too. If I gotta pick one more rapper out of the whole plethora, Pun. Pun.
I will not ever be mad at anybody for putting Pun. If you put Pun at number 1, I wouldn't argue.
Exactly.
I wouldn't think you would.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, I got so.
Give me some rap, because I already know you're gonna come at me.
So this ignited me, right, when I heard you guys, because this is my playground.
Yeah. This is my playground too. Even though I'm not as much experienced.
No, but I just mean like just even the dialogue of talking about this, right? Because I love it, and I always get a kick out of it. But where I always think that people, what I don't like doing is just saying, okay, this is the best ever, right here, right?
When it's one topic.
And yeah, like people might hear my 5 and be like, man, you out of your mind. You left Biggie, you left Pac, all these people out.
Yeah.
What I don't like doing is for that reason that I think that things need to be categorized. So now I'm gonna flip it on you.
I bet.
I want your top 5. Who's your top 5 all-time beat makers?
Okay.
They could now. These could be producers that spit. Because see, this is where the category comes in. If you ask me, who's the best producers that also spit lyrics, and then I would have a whole nother list.
Yes, I get it.
So I want to hear who's your top 5
beat makers. So first of all, I gotta go Dilla. Dill is number 1, and I already see by your face that was the right answer.
I'm not mad at that answer.
Number 2, I gotta go with. I'll hit Mad Lib with number 2.
Ooh.
I'll hit Mad Lib with
those
number
are like
2.
Those were like 2 twin brothers that weren't really twins, man, just twin aliens.
Number 3, I'll go Primo. Number 3, I'll go Primo. Number 4, I'll go Dre. I know you're not really big on Dre, but he has made some banging ass beats.
Nobody's ever gonna get mad for putting Dre at number one. If you say all-time best, just overall producer, Dre might be, number one.
I would agree.
But when I hit you with
I'm putting Dre at 4.
Okay.
Because Dre ain't got shit on Dilla. But Dre has made more money than Dilla.
Dre's worth a lot of money.
Dilla
5. Also got his life cut short though, so I believe he was like 31, 32.
Number 5, let me think about it a little bit. Madlib. I'll put Madlib at 5.
My all-time, so my 5. So if we're just saying beat makers and not beat makers that rap, because see, so let me flip it on myself. I'm gonna go on mine. I'm doing beat makers that spit.
Yeah.
My all-time favorite beat maker that spits is Dilla.
Yeah.
JD.
Yeah.
J Dilla, bar none, hands down. Nobody, not only could produce hip hop records like him, but could rap like that either. All time, Slum Village, all that shit. Soul Aquarians, love it. My second, if it's a beat maker and spitter, second, DJ Quick, all day.
Oh, really?
Quick.
I didn't see that.
And I will tell you something. A lot of people don't know this, but if we're talking also mixing and mastering,
DJ Quick, I did not see that.
Nobody's fucking with Quick.
I didn't see that coming.
Nobody's up there with Quick. Quick is, and Kevin knows, all time, all the way back to the Quick's the Name album. It was a red tape, man.
Yeah.
The tape was literally red. Had titles of songs that I can't even name on here because but just, I mean, and those beats were just, and he's making these beats on a
Quick was good too.
I've got an MPC 2000. This dude was making his beats on a SP 1200 that has like, I think total it has like 13 seconds of sample time total. So you had to be so creative.
Yeah.
And the way that he flipped that Born and Raised in Compton, which is one of my all-time favorite songs in general.
Yeah.
Quick is number one. He'd be number one on that if we're talking like the entire package of just engineering and mixing.
Yeah, that was number 2 that you
That's
said.
my number 2.
Number 3?
Number 3 is Pete Rock, the great.
Pete Rock.
He made all the classic stuff that I grew up on. Produced a lot of Heavy D was his cousin that got him in, and Girls Are Girls, They Love Me. I know that my brothers remember that. That was, man, when that came out, that was something that it must have been 89 maybe, 88, 89. Remember hearing that in the car and turned it up and it was just...
Wait, when were you born?
I was born in 81.
Oh, damn! I'm sorry.
So I was just
you're old.
Little kid listening to these records. Thank you. Bastard, but... so that's my 3rd, Pete Rock. 4th, man, I don't know.
Come on, because I was thinking too.
I'd have to put Madlib.
Yeah.
Just like all the stuff he did, like flipping all the like the Blue Note and the whole Shades of Blue album. If you ever go back and peep it, you got the Quasimodo album, which you brought tonight. So go back and peep it, man. Blue Note. Madlib is incredible. Comparable to Dilla. Dilla just summed up. I don't know, man.
And Dilla was your first, right?
Yeah, and Dilla. What do you mean, my first?
First,
on this list for the producer and spitter. Yes.
Yeah.
That's my 4th, and then my 5th would be. It can't be Dre because see, Dre didn't write any of his raps. Somebody.
No, we're not talking about rappers. We're talking.
No, I'm saying producer and spitter though was on mine.
Oh.
I flipped it on myself.
Okay.
So the last one would have to be Q-Tip, Tribe Called Quest. Q-Tip. And man, again, I would not be mad at somebody if they had Tip in their top 3. So that would be mine. But yeah, obviously we love our music, right?
Yeah, and then we're leaving off a lot of people, but it's not that other people aren't worthy of being on the list. It's just we're trying to think about what our favorite is. So to anybody that's trying to figure out this whole boom bap scene, who would you recommend to them?
As far as like people to listen to?
Yeah.
Listen to us. Listen to my nephew,
Facts.
Gemini, Jay Rodriguez. But you know, I really just, to people, I don't try to impress what I think they should listen to, because I have a 16-year-old son, and he's not trying to hear nothing that I'm talking about is when it comes to music, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just one of those things that to each his own.
To each his own.
And you know, even though I can't stand some of the stuff that I hear, you know, that he listens to, you know, that's his thing. And I remember being a kid, and my pop, right?
Yeah.
You know, you grow up listening to, you know, Earth, Wind and Fire, you know, Lionel Richie, the Gap Band, you know, the Average White Band, Prince.
Yeah.
You know, all these records that they used to like to listen to, and as a kid, I enjoyed that music. I enjoyed Marvin Gaye. I enjoyed, you know, all those songs and stuff. But it's really when I got older where I really like had an appreciation for that older stuff. I go back to it and I'm like, oh God, you know, the Tina Marie, you know, the
Loving You, Minnie Riperton. Come on.
Oh God, I got several records right behind.
Can I buy it from you?
No, I'm not selling the minis.
He already told me that 100 times.
But
he wouldn't sell me.
You know, you grow up and you have more of an appreciation for those. So, but for people that just, if you're looking for dope boom bap music, I'd say go back and just rediscover the 80s and the 90s. You know. And you'll find plenty. There's plenty for you to keep busy with. So.
Yeah, I feel that. Shit, man. Oh, we're about to hit the gym tomorrow too, man.
Yeah.
We're about to hit the gym tomorrow. You're gonna work me out.
Oh yeah. I took
the last time we went to the gym,
that boy was smelling.
Fuck.
That boy was smelling like 90 proof, and it was like 10 o'clock the next day.
Oh, but I still did it. Did I still do it?
Oh yeah.
Did I still do it?
We did. Hey, we did our back workout too, so it was back and arms that day. And,
what are we doing tomorrow again?
Tomorrow's gonna be. Tomorrow's set.
Abs.
Wait, today's Saturday, right? Tomorrow's
yeah.
Tomorrow we're gonna do shoulders and arms.
Yeah. Shoulders and arms.
So that's your shoulders and your triceps.
You're wondering why Gemini's looking a little bit harder than. That's why. We're doing shoulders and arms, guys.
Yep.
This is gonna be edited.
That's not words. We're speaking.
This is gonna get edited out.
Perfect. Yeah, don't leave that in.
I'm gonna leave it in, but still. What's your favorite workout on it?
My favorite workout?
Like out of everything. Like let's say you were locked up right now and you had to hit a workout.
I love back. Cause like back is like one of those you get to do a lot of push and pull.
Yeah.
So like I love to do like cable pull downs, right? But then I love to go to that, remember that machine where I took you where it locks your legs in?
Yeah.
You go down, you're holding weight, and you come up, you know, and those back muscles that you have from your lower, you know, where your spine is, they go all the way up almost to your the back of your shoulders, right? Those are some of the longest muscles in your body. So I love hitting those. They burn and it hurts like hell, and you know, you feel it. So I like to feel it. I like to feel the pain.
I'm gonna cut this out if you don't want to answer this question. That chain you have on right now.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
Which one?
Let's take it out. This, not your Gucci chain. This one.
That is the.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the Gucci chain. That one I've had for many years now. I always get my my jewelry and stuff from places where I can get a good deal. So, you know, I might go to I might go to a pawn shop or, you know, I've never
find out what they got.
Yeah, I never cared about like, oh, was I the first one with it, you know?
I don't give.
I mean, when I was a kid, my, cause I'm the youngest in my family, right?
Yeah.
So I had an older sister and 2 older brothers. My brother Kevin being your dad,
Yeah.
and my brother Eddie, who I haven't spoke with in years, but yeah, man, this one time I was coming back, it was probably the year 2001.
Yeah.
And I went to Chicago and then came back down. I went through Indiana, and when I was in Indiana, I got in a little trouble, so I had to stay there for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I got back, my brother had been in prison, and I had left a bunch of jewelry at home, and it was in my closet. It was in this specific. Yeah, I had this little like box that you would flip up, but it was about this deep.
Yeah.
And I had I had a gold watch, solid gold watch in there, a bracelet, and like 3 of my necklaces, and each necklace had a piece on it. And when I got home, and he had taken like 2 of my necklaces, and one of the necklaces my mom had gotten me, right? So I remember when I got home that day and they were gone, I had a friend over, and I instantly went in his room, and he was sleeping because he had just gotten out of prison, right? I went in his room and I said, "Wake up, motherfucker," and he jumped the fuck out of my room, I was like, "No, wake your ass up. Where's my shit?"
Yeah.
I was like, "If you don't," he told me, and I was probably 18 years old at that time, right? 19. And he jumps out of bed, man. I just caught him in midair and just body slammed him and just started beating his ass. And my poor mother, rest in peace, she was there, and friend was, trying to pull me off, and that was the first time in my life I'd ever actually whooped him, right? It was the first time I ever fought him as an adult. You just saw red. You know what, man? I was hurt. I was really hurt because, I thought I was leaving. I still had other jewelries and stuff that were in there, but the ones that he took were like really special.
Yeah.
Right? One was from my mom, so. But it was like thousands of dollars worth of my jewelry that was just gone, and he couldn't tell me where it was.
It's the principle. It doesn't even matter how much it was.
Yeah, I just remember, feeling that tremendous like pain. I was angry and all that, and I got that out. Yeah. I never got my shit back, and he just kind of got away with it. You have to let things go. People are imperfect. And back then I didn't have the same kind of mentality.
Yeah.
But those are the types of things. I'm trying to teach my son that life is gonna
fuck you.
It's gonna deal with you in a way.
Yeah.
And again, I think that a big misconception that human beings have. People think that God is responsible for these things and these ills that we go through, and that's like, you couldn't be more wrong, right?
Yeah, free will.
There's nothing in him that creates any of that type of suffering. It's impossible. But the fact that it was from family, it hurt even more, right?
Yeah.
If it was a friend or somebody,
you brush it over.
Yeah, but it would be like, me jacking you when you go to bed tonight, and you wake up and you ain't.
That would be horrible, because I got fucking $3,000 at least on my own neck. If you did that would be horrible.
It's more of a family is supposed
actually not even that, but go ahead.
Family is supposed to look after each other.
Exactly.
So, that was one of those times that was, it's tough, but those are the things you go through in life, man. You learn from them, you grow. Some people don't, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But at the same time, family.
That's right. That's right, man. You've always been,
someone who's came back.
I remember when you guys came back from Carolina, and you were like, I think 14 by then.
Long ass hair,
and then you cut the hair off, and then I think you were 15 when we made our first song for Trevor. So, you know, that was a fun time because I took you to like, remember that? I took you to like a real studio.
Yeah. Like, hey, by the way, we're not gonna put any names out, but the person that we recorded with fucked us up on the last part.
Like I said though, you know what? Everybody is, you know, everybody is imperfect, man. Unfortunately, we're humans, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna judge nobody. Just keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
That's right.
And you know we grooving. We gonna freestyle on this podcast. And your bitch stinky, and she got a hot ass.
Oh my God.
Nah, I'm just playing.
This boy. So what about you? Any love interests?
Fuck no. I'm on my whole shit, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Yo, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
How do you feel about nowadays with the our country is turning into, unfortunately, it's turning into a you know, where they're gonna start taking away certain, you know, rights that you have always just taken for granted, right? Like being able to do this and just say whatever the hell you want.
Like free speech and shit like
yeah,
that.
like how do you feel about it and the way it's going? Do you see that, you know, because I know what I see, but I also know that I know what's coming anyway, right? So
Yeah.
like, and I know you know what I'm saying. It's like once you know what's in the literature, you're not like dumbfounded by any of this, but it's just it's happening at a more rapid pace than I thought. You know, like a lot quicker.
I'm gonna tell you something that might either be very scary for you or a really good thing. They killed Jesus.
Amen.
They killed Jesus. They killed Jesus. So even if we became the best men ever, this shit, history repeats itself. So
I would just say like it's important to always remember, man, like there's no, I think the difference between people, you know, you should be able to say what you want to say in a way, right?
yeah.
But there's a clear difference between saying what you want to say and hate speech.
Yeah.
You know, if you saying things out there that's just trying to rile people up and stir things up, that's never going to go well. And I think that people have misinterpreted that, you know, where it's like, oh, well, this is, you know, I'm free, I should be true. I think a comedian should be able to get up there and joke about whatever the hell he wants.
Absolutely.
Nowadays, though, guess what?
What?
They can't.
Exactly.
How many people
fucking
are regretting, you know, so it's funny because it never used to be like that.
It didn't.
I grew up watching like George Carlin and
motherfucking Richard Pryor.
George Carlin would say the most off the wall shit, and it was so intelligently done though.
Yeah.
I mean, when he would go off on a tangent, he wouldn't be able to live today. Like,
absolutely
they wouldn't
not.
let him. They wouldn't let him.
They don't even let Dave Chappelle live today.
I feel like they do, but you know, again,
they tackled him on stage and all that. You didn't see that? Yeah, dude came up on stage, tackled Dave Chappelle. His security came in.
I'm not on social media and stuff, so I don't really get to see a lot of those kind of things, you know, like how people will just start passing around stuff like that. I don't really ever see it unless I something on YouTube. But
it has to be something that really popped off for you to see it. Yeah. No, yeah. The Dave Chappelle told a joke and somebody in the crowd got offended, so they ran up on stage and like tried to tackle him. And then the security came and
I love Dave Chappelle.
I love Dave too. I love Dave. I love Cat Williams.
I noticed his voice is like changed, man. It's like kind of different now.
Oh, he's old.
Yeah, it's like his voice is like the older he gets, it's like he blew out his voice or something. Like
well, he smokes Newports.
Like he damaged his voice. For sure, 'cause his voice is like way different than he used to be.
I don't know if he actually smokes Newports, by the way. Don't cancel me. But I know he smokes cigarettes.
Stupid.
I know he smokes cigarettes every time he does a
you
damn thing.
You just caught in the trap. That's how they do though, man. You can't even, it's a shame, but, because that's not out of Dude. Oh, Lord.
Fucking A, thank you,
Young Bloods.
Alright, let's change this whole fucking political subject, man.
No, I just wanted to...
What's your favorite thing to work out?
You just asked me that. Remember I said back?
Oh. We're gonna keep this in. I ain't gonna lie. We're keeping this in. Wow, man. I'm trying to think. What was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
Oh, sure. Play basketball. Anything basketball or football related, man. When I was a kid, man, we would play football on the street, Yeah. Your pops be out there like all the older dudes, and I'd, just wait for.
Were you good? Were you a W?
When I was little, they wouldn't let me out there. I would just have to sit on the side and watch. But when I would go places and I would play with people my age, that was when I get to have fun. So,
yeah.
I always loved it, but basketball was like my, I remember. I was probably about 12 when I started being able to play with the adults up at the park, and I could go up there and I'd get picked, and I'd score some buckets. So, and then things would get hectic. Somebody starts shooting or something, but it was always like just that excitement of being outside the house. It's like kids today, man. Like my son, he don't go outside and hang out with people. He doesn't know a kid on this block that we live in. When I was a kid, it was different. It was like you knew everybody. And
he did in Levine though.
And not only that, you didn't stay in the house on a video game. You wanted to be outside. You afraid of missing something going on outside in your block. So
yeah,
it's a strange day, but
Do you think if let's say randomly the NBA gave you a contract when you were, let's say 30 or 25?
I wasn't that good.
No. I'm asking you, what is the best player you think you could cross out one-on-one? Steph Curry, somebody.
Like
let's say one-on-one.
Could I score on them?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I could.
No, beat them.
I think in my prime I could score on probably anybody. Beat them in a game? Absolutely not. These are NBA players. Could I get a bucket? Absolutely.
No, I know you could get a bucket, but let's say one-on-one. Who do you think? Steve Nash, maybe?
I could score a bucket on Steve Nash. Absolutely.
Do you think you could beat him in a hole?
Absolutely not. That boy was too nice, man. Have you ever seen that man? His jump shot was butter. I mean.
Do you think you could? Let's say when you were my age. Let's say you were my age, and they asked you a contract.
What is your age, by the way? 22, 23?
22. And they gave you a contract to play. Would you do it?
In the NBA?
Yeah.
Come on, man. What you think? No, I don't want millions of dollars. But again,
not about that.
I wasn't that good though. Zay, my son Zay, I'm telling him, man, take it serious, because.
What about football? How were you in football? Were you pretty good?
I was good at football, but it was I was such a skinny kid, man. I didn't put on. I didn't put on any weight until I was about 18. I'm not kidding, because that was when I started working out with weights, and I got out of my old neighborhood and I was away from all the bullshit. Right?
Yeah.
And I was living in another state. I didn't have no friends, so the only thing I could do was go to the gym and train. And it was in doing that and working out with a friend who taught me how to train, where it was
that's how I am with you. Even though I know how to train, but every time we go to the gym, dude, last time we worked out, you had my ass. Dude, the next day I couldn't even move my arm.
Yeah, training is for anybody, man, it breaking down the body to build it back up is like
exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. What about baseball? You ever do any baseball?
I used to love baseball. I never played baseball as a kid, like on a team or in a league. Loved playing baseball though, like in PE. Even me and my friends would go play at at the school and stuff like that, and just go hit balls and like try to get games. When I was young, like 8, 9, 10 years old, I used to love baseball. I just never played it. It was just basketball and football.
I feel it. Basketball and football.
You never played a sport?
Boxing, Muay Thai. Those are the sports I know.
No, I mean, but you never like played a sport like football or
in high school, no.
You guys were in.
If there was a boxing thing in my high school, we would have done it. But it's not the 80s anymore. They ain't nothing like that. No, I never played no boxing. I never did no baseball. I never did wrestling. I didn't want to break my fingers on shit like that.
Yeah, you're.
I
used to when I was little. I'd go to the boxing gym with your dad, and they had this. So your dad not only used to kick the corners of walls, to make his shins harder because he was a kickboxer. But
the dust fall off?
Yeah, he was in our gym, right? They had this. It was like a pad made out of like vinyl, and it was hard. It was a pad, but it was really hard. It wasn't like a soft, cushy pad, like we're sitting on. Mm-hmm. And it was meant for you to sit there and punch it. And it had all this blood of all these people that would sit there and punch it until their hands bled. And I always thought that was disgusting. I was like, yo, that's people's blood on there, right? I'm gonna punch that until my hands bleed and get their blood on my blood. Like, but your dad would be, man, your dad used to go in there and
that's my blood.
Trained so hard. But I was probably like 10,
Yeah.
11. I just wasn't in it like that, but I just like to, fight on the street if I had to, but I never
fighting.
I never liked the organized type stuff. It just wasn't my thing. No.
Can you tell me something like your favorite thing about my dad?
About your dad?
Yeah.
Oh shit, man. That's your dad was so like it's no secret growing up. My brother Eddie was always like he was the oldest, but he was always the one fucking up, always, just synonymous for doing bad shit and getting in trouble. My dad would, beat him. Your dad to me was, when I was a kid, I had two heroes growing up, my dad and your dad.
Yeah.
My big brother, and he was always, he looked out. He always looked out for me. Yeah. Always tried to have me do the right thing. He tried to like have me do some dangerous things. Right? He loved to do that. He loved to see me get hurt a little bit. But he was trying to make me tougher, And you gotta remember, man, when you're, I don't know, 6 or 7 years younger than your brother.
Yeah.
It's like. You're way behind physically, man. So if I'm 8, he's a teenager.
Yeah.
He's way bigger, way stronger, right? Knows more. But he always looked out for me. If his people in the neighborhood would, mess with me,
he would be the first one there.
And there came a point in our day where nobody fucked with your dad.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nobody fucked with him. So that was comforting. And it was really when he moved out of the house, when he met your mom.
When it was, you had to really kind of be a little bit scared because he's not there anymore.
It wasn't that. See, it was so, I became, my best friend Rance was murdered in 1992, right?
Rest in peace, Rance.
That kind of, I was almost 12, I think. So that had me all messed up, right?
Yeah.
And then, a year or two later, your dad moved out, and it was around that time where I really just went into.
So you lost two of the best things that you had at the same time.
So your dad was more of like he'd be the person that would be there, like, he's like having a second dad almost. Where my dad was always gone, right? Always at work, all that. He was always out in the street, bro. So once you don't have that supervision, somebody that's there to kind of keep you. You know, my mom, I love her to death. God bless her.
But only a man can teach a man how to be.
She couldn't be everywhere. So I'd be out in the street with people that I should not have been around, you know. And I was just a kid, 12, 13, and really kind of dove into a life of, you know,
just bad shit,
bad stuff, and that was due to not having his presence there no more. Because I just started to not really. I started to give up. I started to give up in school. I started to give up on just believing that something good was going to happen in my life. You know, so it was like, this is what it's going to be. And I really thought that. Yeah, I thought that, and I thought I would die young and stuff like that. So it was more of a, you know, fuck it. And what I know now, being older and stuff, is like people start doing that when it's fear-based. It's all based from fear.
It is.
So seeing your friend, you know, in a casket, and he's 14 and I'm 12, and just knowing that he's never coming back, that was like the tipping point for me to say, that fear, it was so overwhelming, and I couldn't make sense of it. And I didn't have knowledge at that time of myself, right? It was all, you know, you're going off of example by everybody else that you see. And then when that good example is gone, you know, what are you gonna do? And I went the other way, but you know, your dad was always, for me, circling back around on that, he was always, you know, somebody that I looked up to, and to this day I still, you know, I just have tremendous love and respect for him. And
I was glad I came from him. Honestly, not even joking, like my dad, man, that is my superhero. I have a tier list. It goes God, Jesus, my dad, Andrew Tate.
I don't even know who that is, but he must be something special.
Dude.
Andrew Tate.
Oh man.
You know what though? There's a there's a God, it was like even just to think how your parents came together kind of thing, right? Yeah. Through my cousin, rest in peace, Fat Daddy, like Eric, Fat Daddy, you know,
fell in love.
He's the reason they met. It's like, it's just so funny when these stories, when you reflect back, it's like, if you think about our life and how we exist and
if you would have slept,
it's all just luck.
If you would have slept for 30 minutes more, it would have never happened.
You could have been, you see what I'm saying? But you're not. You're from them too. And it's like, I always thought the same thing about my mom and dad. Like, when you come out of a biracial mixture of people, my mother being a white woman, my dad being an Afro-Hispanic, you know, like, and just, I always, as a kid, man, that shit bugged me out, because it would be like, my dad used to, when I was little, man, I'm talking like 4th grade, my dad would come up to the school and do like speeches on career day, right? This is when he was still like climbing up. And people would see my dad, and then, see, that was the problem. I always had I always had to fight. Always had to fight. And it was because people would say stupid shit to me. Yeah. They would see my dad and go, "That's your dad? Your dad's fucking half black." You know, and it was like, you weren't Mexican enough for the Mexicans, and you weren't
white enough for the white people.
Exactly.
And that's my grandpa, by the way.
And I grew up with having a battle with that, man, because it was like, I wouldn't put up with that though.
I've never had any. Well, actually, I have. I've never really had to deal with black people. I've grown up around black people, so
it's different now though.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, man, shit was way more segregated.
Yeah.
Hispanics stuck with Hispanics. I mean, we lived in a neighborhood, like, yeah, we had some white neighbors and stuff like that, but I'm talking about once you got to like school and all that, man, your group, your crew, stuff like that, like, I tell my son all the time, because he's got white friends, Hispanic, black friends. Yeah. Everybody's just, and I love that the world was like that.
I love that too.
When I was growing up, it was not like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was much more segregated, and you had to stick to your own. And that, you know, in that regard, it's like, I hated it though. I hated how it was back then.
Yeah.
And it was that type of bitterness that really drove
not being accepted by your own kind.
What it did though is when I got, by the time I became like 15, and got noticed by people that I, you know, looking back, I wish I wouldn't have, but took a liking to me and saw how I kind of did what I was doing, and it attracted me to a whole nother type of, you know, people that were very dangerous.
Yeah.
But there was like as a kid, it like felt good to be, you know, to be wanted, to be noticed, man. Like, yo, these dudes are me.
They're treating me like family.
And
like,
these were dangerous people.
Yeah.
Right? Took me in though, man. And after that, it was like, you know, things got real bad. I probably shouldn't be alive, but by the grace of having a mother and a father who gave a shit about me, man, I was, you know, thank God they moved, man, because it was not going well, you know. And thank God, man, I'm alive now, and I'm married, and I have kids, and I have a house. I get to make music when I don't have to work and things like that. You know, it's life, man, and that's what I wish for you, is just that one day you meet a good woman, man, because it's really a good woman that will, you know, God, they help us. Like, bro,
That's the
I've never had to pay one bill.
Listen,
she holds it down, bro. Like,
all the even though I know I be on some whatever people say misogynistic shit, women are the ones that are mentally like more just we're the workers, the fucking providers, everything. But women are the ones that put your brain like.
Bro, they if you want to know, you'll know when you met the right person, Junior, because they're going to tell you all that shit about you that you don't want to hear. And it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear some of those truths.
But you got to hear it.
It's hard to hear some of those truths. But if they really love you, they'll help you through it. And that's what I found. You know, I love
women are emotional creatures, so they can help us with our...
We're emotional creatures too, man.
No, I just mean in a... like men, think about it. Like, would you rather send 100 men to fight a war or 100 women? Obviously, you're gonna send.
I send 100 women because they will.
Fuck no,
they will talk them into submission, man. I'm kidding.
Fuck that.
They will wait. But
if I'm sending my let's say 3-year-old or 4 or 5 whatever to preschool, I would rather it be a woman that is their teacher in preschool. You know what I mean? There's things that men can do better than women, and there's things that women can do better than men. And you know, and we just gotta figure out how to balance it.
It's that I just want my kids to be around good people, so I don't, whoever their teacher is, as long as it's a person that cares about them and that wants them to.
I can understand that, but when we're talking about a like a majority thing, you know.
Who were your favorite teachers when you were in school? Were they men or women?
Most of my teachers were women. But actually, my favorite #1 teacher, his name is Mr. King. It was 5th grade.
See, my favorite teacher was a man.
But so. I'm not a girl though.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That's true.
So, but yeah, my favorite teacher was Mr. King. In my 5th grade.
Mine was in 6th grade. And that was the teacher that taught me how to taught me that I could write poetry really well, because I won the contest that year for my grade. And that was how I realized, like, that was 92. That was how I realized, oh shit, I could write my own raps. So I started writing raps. That was
Sixth
literally
grade?
6th grade when I started writing my own raps.
That's how the fuck.
Because I started first, I had to do poetry and I won the contest. So it was like, my sister got a little karaoke joint, right? And it was like, it had 2 little tape slots. You could put a tape in there, they had like an instrumental, and then you could put your blank tape, and you could literally, it had a little mic you plug in, and you could record. So we started making pause tapes. Me and my boy Carlos Chino lived across the street. You know what I've been curious about, Junior, is you, like your uncle, for a long time, were very into your ganja, your marijuana, right?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I remember that. I used to love it. And then I got to a point as I got older, right, where I know what it started doing for me. And I was just curious how you felt about it nowadays.
Like weed?
Yeah.
Fuck, if I smoked weed right now, I'd have a panic attack. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that's what it was doing. That's so funny you say that, because that's exactly what I started experiencing. And it was one of those things where I started bugging out. Like I couldn't breathe. And I mean, obviously I was breathing, right? Because I didn't fall over and die.
Yeah.
But it would get in my mind like, I'm gonna stop breathing. I'm gonna die.
Well, you know what weed does to you is
makes you like
no.
Bug out.
Let me tell you what it actually does. So you have synapses. That's your brain basically goes psh, psh, for memory. Psh, psh, psh. But when you're on weed, it just goes psh. It's straight. It's just straight.
It doesn't stop.
No. So you're thinking about everything times 2, kind of a thing.
That's what it was like. And it had to do with like breathing and the mind, though. And for me, man, I've always been one of those people. Like if I can't breathe, man, I panic. I'm terrified of not being able to breathe. You know?
Dude, I'm an anxiety freak. There's something going on up here. I don't know what it is, but there's something definitely going on. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And I think it's cursed with us. So
that's called life, baby. It gets better.
But I remember when I was able to smoke fucking pounds in a day and not have anything wrong. But now if I were even to smoke a little joint, it would be like...
That's so funny. You never think... I never thought I would see the day, you know, that... And it's funny because now I'm early 40s and it's like, I don't care at all. I don't miss it. Nothing. I don't even...
I can't believe you're even in your 40s.
You know? I appreciate you. I think you're dope. I love your music. I would have never thought that from the first time we went in and flipped that little James Brown sample and did that little thing for Trevor that you took it so far. So, you know, keep doing that.